Okay, so we're nearly at number one. We've got number two at last. We're now on to kind of M4 style guns that I like to play with in urban environments, whether it's running around outside in a kind of street environment or actually getting indoors. One of the guns I really liked in 2016, and I mainly played single shot urban games with, was the VFC Avalon caliber CQC, and I was one of the first people in the UK to get one from Sports Guns from Mike down at Cardigan. This was a really great gun. It was very similar to a 416, fantastic stock to fit your batteries in, ambidextrous fire selector, key mod rail system on it, beautiful gun. But as I found out later, after about 4 months, the gearbox broke. And now, a year or so later, a lot of people are saying on forums, the gearbox in this is actually very weak, and VFC's new gearbox actually isn't that great. So I can't really put that as my kind of top gun. What I also got a few months later was a VFC Sabre. So a lot of these have kind of come into the UK now this year. This is the Sabre VR16 CQB, very similar, just maybe a slightly different front end, doesn't have the ambidextrous fire selector, came in a cardboard box on a plastic case like this one did. But again, it's actually quite a good gun. Fingers crossed hasn't gone wrong so far, but still isn't my favourite gun. You do need these QRS style magazines, but I've had them working on G&G high caps as well. I guess this comes in as one of my favourite CQB guns that I got last year, and of course this is the TM416D. Oh, it's gorgeous, and it's in the kind of G28 colour scheme, and it's absolutely beautiful. It's just a work of art. You've got key mod rails. It comes with 3 pieces of rail. Obviously, you know, you're looking at over £500 for one of these, so it's one of the most expensive airsoft guns going, but it's just beautiful. But the batteries are an issue to me. You've got to buy the SOC mod kind of £50 nearly batteries that fit into this, or you've got to have it converted. Also, you're looking at using the TM magazines. Now these are specific to this gun. They're quite difficult to find at the moment in the UK. I know a couple of shops that have them. They're also quite expensive. They're nearly double the price of a G&G high cap. And is it worth it? Yes, it's worth it because you've got a TM416 and it's just a beautiful piece of kit. But it's still not my number 2 gun, and how can you beat one of these? You know, they're just, wow, they're remarkable. But talking of VFC and so on, I do like Urban guns, and we are talking CQB and we are talking close quarter battle. And one of the guns I really like is the H&K 416C. So this is Umrex, and this is amazing, absolutely beautiful gun. I love it. You've got a little sliding out stock, very similar to an MP5. You've got plenty of rail on it, nowhere to put a battery, so you have to have an external battery box to fit onto it. You might have seen Deadshot using one of these recently in the movies, Will Smith using it. It's a beautiful gun, and I have so much fun with this. It's so small, so compact, like the Firehawk, but without the stock. Obviously, you haven't got a big solid stock to go on there. Very heavy. It's a full metal gun. The whole thing is absolutely really weighty, and I hand it over to a lot of people indoors and they're like, wow, that's heavy. Now, none of these guns are upgraded. You know, I wait till something breaks down before I start spending money on it. And indoors, this is well under 300 feet per second. It just fires beautifully. It's very consistent gun. I like that you cock it and it all works properly. Very realistic weapon, full H&K trademarks on it legally. And it's just a beautiful piece of kit, and I have so much fun with this. It really is good. The only problem is the battery not necessarily lasting more than just a morning or just an afternoon. So that's why it's my number 2 gun. So, you know, there's £1,500 worth of guns here on the table, you know, £500, £500, £400, £300 kind of thing. What can beat these guns in my view? So what's my personal number one? Should we have a look? I think you're going to be surprised. Let's have a look.